In 2024, a single company controls 92% of the chips that power artificial intelligence. It's not Microsoft, it's not Google, it's not even the US government, it's Nvidia. And whoever controls AI chips controls the future of human civilization. Because here's what most people don't understand: artificial intelligence isn't just another technology. It's the technology that will determine which nations rise, which economies dominate, and which societies survive the next century. And right now, one company holds that power. This is the story of how Jensen Huang built the most important monopoly in human history. How Nvidia doesn't just sell chips, it controls the very infrastructure of intelligence itself. And why the AI empire wars aren't coming. They're already here, with Nvidia acting as the kingmaker, deciding who gets to build the future and who gets left behind. Let me show you how we got here, why this monopoly is different from anything we've ever seen, and why the next 10 years will determine whether humanity builds AI to serve civilization, or whether AI builds civilization to serve its new masters. Before I explain how Nvidia conquered the world, you need to understand what makes AI chips different from every other technology in history, because this isn't like oil or steel or even semiconductors. This is about controlling the capacity for intelligence itself. Traditional computer chips, or CPUs, process information sequentially, one calculation at a time, very fast, but in a straight line. AI requires something different: parallel processing, thousands of calculations happening all at once. And that's what GPUs, or graphics processing units, do. They were originally designed for video games, rendering millions of pixels simultaneously. But in 2012, researchers discovered something revolutionary. These gaming chips could train neural networks faster than anything else on Earth. And Nvidia saw this coming first. Way back in 2006, they released CUDA, a special programming language that let developers use GPU power for general computing. For years, it seemed like a niche product. Then, deep learning exploded. And suddenly, every AI researcher on the planet needed Nvidia chips running CUDA software, not AMD chips, not Intel chips. Only Nvidia. And here's the critical insight: AI isn't just about the hardware, it's about the entire ecosystem. Nvidia doesn't just make chips, they make the software that runs on them, the networking that connects them, the cooling systems that keep them running, and the development tools that let programmers use them. It's a complete all-in-one platform. And once you're locked into the Nvidia ecosystem, switching is nearly impossible. This is how Nvidia built the most valuable technology monopoly in history, not just by making better chips, but by making it prohibitively expensive to use anything else. Now let me show you the numbers that prove Nvidia doesn't just dominate AI, they are AI. In 2024, Nvidia controls 92% of the market for AI accelerator chips. AMD has 5%, Intel has 2%. Everyone else combined has 1%. That's not competition. That is a monopoly. Look at the revenue explosion. Nvidia's data center revenue hit $47.5 billion in 2024. That's up 427% from just 2 years before. To put that in perspective, Nvidia's AI chip business alone is now larger than the entire economies of 150 countries. Their stock valuation: Nvidia became the second most valuable company on Earth, worth over $3 trillion. That's more valuable than the entire GDP of the United Kingdom. And its CEO, Jensen Huang, is now worth over $100 billion. He's richer than most nations. But here's the number that should terrify you: energy consumption. In 2024, AI data centers consumed 183 terawatts of electricity. That's more than Pakistan, a country of 240 million people. By 2030, AI is projected to consume 945 terawatts annually. That's equivalent to Japan's entire electrical grid. And 80% of that energy will be powering Nvidia chips. Because when Google trains its latest AI model, when Microsoft builds Copilot, when OpenAI creates ChatGPT, they all run on Nvidia hardware. At scale, there is no alternative. This creates a terrifying dependency. Nvidia doesn't just sell chips, it controls the global capacity for artificial intelligence. And AI is rapidly becoming the foundation of all economic power. Now let me show you how this monopoly emerged through 3 critical phases. Because understanding how we got here reveals why escaping it is almost impossible. Phase 1 was the CUDA trap, from 2006 to 2016. While its competitors focused on making faster, cheaper chips, Nvidia invested $20 billion over 10 years building its software infrastructure. CUDA became the programming language of AI. Every AI university course taught it. Every AI startup hired CUDA programmers. Every major AI research paper assumed CUDA compatibility. By 2016, there were over 1 million CUDA developers worldwide. Switching from Nvidia to AMD or Intel didn't just mean buying different hardware. It meant rewriting all your software, retraining all your programmers, and rebuilding your entire workflow. For large companies, the switching cost ballooned into billions of dollars. Nvidia didn't just sell a product. They created a standard that they alone controlled. Here's the genius of Nvidia's CUDA trap. They gave away the software for free, then charged monopoly prices for the only hardware that could run it. It's like Microsoft with Windows, but for the very infrastructure of intelligence. Then came Phase 2, from 2016 to 2022, the scale advantage. When deep learning exploded, every tech giant needed massive GPU clusters. Google, Microsoft, Amazon, Meta, they all became Nvidia's biggest customers. But in doing so, they also got locked in. Think about it. Training a large language model requires thousands of GPUs working in perfect sync. You can't just mix and match Nvidia and AMD chips. It's either all Nvidia or it's nothing. This created a powerful feedback loop. The more customers bought Nvidia, the more Nvidia could pour back into research and development. By 2022, Nvidia was spending a staggering $7 billion a year on R&D. For comparison, AMD spent $2.8 billion, and Intel spent $3.7 billion on their AI chip development. Nvidia was outspending all its major competitors combined. The result, Nvidia's chips didn't just get a little better, they got exponentially better. The H100 chip, released in 2022, delivered 6 times the AI performance of the previous generation. Competitors simply couldn't keep up with that pace of improvement because they couldn't match the R&D spending. Now we're in Phase 3. From 2022 to today, the ecosystem lock-in. Nvidia doesn't just sell chips anymore, they sell complete, end-to-end AI solutions. We're talking hardware, software, networking, cooling, support, and even training. It's an entire package, designed to work together seamlessly. But here's the catch: it only works if you use Nvidia for everything. Companies like Google and Amazon have spent billions trying to build their own alternatives. You've probably heard of Google's TPU chips, or Amazon's Trainium and Inferentia, or even Microsoft's Maya chips. These are great for very specific, internal tasks, but they can't replace Nvidia for general AI development, because they simply don't support the vast CUDA ecosystem that developers are built on. This is what makes Nvidia's dominance so powerful. It's not just about having the best chips, it's about controlling the entire infrastructure stack that makes modern AI possible. But here's where the story takes a darker turn, because Nvidia's monopoly isn't just a business story, it's about geopolitical power. And as we speak, the AI empire wars have already begun. Have you ever wondered how one company can shape the future of technology for the entire world? Let's talk about Nvidia and its massive influence on global tech development. In today's world, AI is everything. It drives economic growth and fuels innovation, and every major tech company knows it. But here's where things get interesting. In 2023, new rules came in, restricting the export of high-performance AI chips to certain places. We're talking about chips that can perform over 300 trillion operations per second. To put that in perspective, Nvidia's flagship H100 chip can do a staggering 1,000 trillion operations per second. That's the gold standard. Now, this isn't like oil, which you can find in many countries, or manufacturing, which can be spread out globally. Building these advanced AI chips requires incredibly specialized knowledge and infrastructure that only exists in a few places. This unique situation has created some wild market dynamics. Demand is so high that some of these chips are reportedly being sold for 2 to 4 times their normal price through unofficial channels. In response, we're seeing a global race to catch up. China, for instance, has announced a massive $150 billion investment into its own semiconductor research. This is creating a complex global tech landscape where different regions are developing at different speeds based on their access to this cutting-edge hardware. It's also sparking a wave of innovation in AI services and applications built on whatever tech is available. So, what does the future look like? From 2025 to 2027, we'll see the next generation of chips from Nvidia, promising even bigger leaps in performance. The companies and countries that get early access could gain a huge advantage in developing next-level AI. We're already seeing nations forming tech partnerships to secure their access to these critical resources, each taking a unique approach to stay in the game. Then, from 2027 to 2030, the market will likely evolve again. All that investment in domestic tech from countries like India, Brazil, and across the European Union will start to pay off. We'll see new, alternative solutions emerge. Initially, they might be for specific needs, but they could grow to compete on a global scale. This will make the tech market much more diverse, with more companies offering more choices. The result, more competition, more innovation, and a more dynamic and exciting technology landscape for everyone. The race is on, and the next few years will be fascinating to watch. The next great global conflict won't be fought with soldiers or tanks, but with silicon. We're entering the era of the AI empire wars, and the battle lines are already being drawn. Between now and 2035, the world will split into 2 camps: those who control AI chip production, and those who are controlled by them. Military power, economic might, and technological progress will all hinge on one critical resource: access to advanced AI hardware. Nations without their own chip-making capabilities will face a stark choice: align with the US-led technology bloc or the China-led one. Neutrality will become a fantasy. The AI empire wars aren't a future prediction. They're happening right now, quietly, in data centers and fabrication plants around the globe. At the center of this new world order is one company, Nvidia. They are the kingmakers, the puppet masters of the AI revolution. But what most people fail to grasp is that Nvidia's power isn't just a business monopoly. It's an infrastructure monopoly, and those are nearly impossible to break. Think back to the 1800s with the railroads. If your town got a rail line, it boomed. If it didn't, it withered and died. In the early 1900s, Standard Oil controlled the energy that powered industrialization. Today, Nvidia controls the infrastructure of intelligence itself. Without their chips, you can't build competitive AI, and AI is rapidly becoming the foundation of everything. This creates a triple-layered trap that reinforces Nvidia's dominance. First, there's the hardware dependency. Every major AI system is built on Nvidia chips. Switching means ripping out and replacing billions of dollars of infrastructure. Second is the software dependency. Every AI programmer learns CUDA, Nvidia's proprietary software language. To switch, you'd have to retrain your entire workforce and rewrite millions of lines of code. It's like asking the whole world to stop speaking English overnight. And third, the ecosystem dependency. Every AI tool, every framework, every cloud service is designed to work seamlessly with Nvidia. Switching isn't just about a new chip, it's about rebuilding the entire digital universe from scratch. That's why competitors like Google, Amazon, and AMD haven't made a real dent. Their chips are good, but they don't have the ecosystem. It's like building a high-tech new power outlet that doesn't fit any existing plugs. But Nvidia isn't just sitting back and enjoying their lead. They're actively working to make their monopoly permanent. Their playbook is brilliant, and understanding it shows why this could last for decades. Strategy 1. Vertical integration. Nvidia isn't just selling chips anymore. They're selling entire pre-built AI data centers called DGX systems. It's the AI in-a-box solution. This makes it even harder for customers to leave because they're not just buying a component. They're buying a complete, integrated system. Strategy 2. Ecosystem capture. In 2024 alone, Nvidia has invested over $1 billion into AI startups. They're not just selling to these companies. They're funding them, ensuring they build on Nvidia platforms from day one. When these startups get big or get acquired, they bring that Nvidia dependency with them, spreading it like a virus through the tech industry. Strategy 3. The talent monopoly. Nvidia employs over 35,000 engineers, including the world's top minds in chip design. They've created a brain drain, pulling the best talent from universities and competitors. You can't build a better chip without better engineers, and the best engineers want to work for the king. And finally, strategy for manufacturing lockup. Nvidia books the world's most advanced chip-making capacity from factories like TSMC years in advance. They've secured priority access to the next generation of 3nm and 2nm chips. Competitors, even with a better design, are stuck at the back of the line, unable to produce their chips at scale. This isn't just a company winning a market. This is a strategic campaign to build an unbreachable fortress around the most important technology of the 21st century. The AI empire is rising, and right now, Nvidia wears the crown. The question is, can anyone ever take it from them? Here's the result: a reinforcing cycle where monopoly profits fund strategies that strengthen the monopoly. This makes it harder for competitors to catch up and easier for Nvidia to stay ahead. But here's the paradox that should worry everyone. Nvidia's monopoly might be necessary for AI development, but it's also incredibly dangerous for AI safety. Right now, the pace of AI development is dictated by Nvidia's chip roadmap. New generations of AI models only become possible when new generations of Nvidia chips become available. Think about it: GPT-3 needed V100 chips, GPT-4 needed A100 chips, the upcoming GPT-5 will require H100 or even B100 chips. This means one single company's engineering decisions are setting the timeline for artificial general intelligence. If Nvidia speeds up its chip development, AI development accelerates. If Nvidia hits a snag, the entire field slows down. That is a staggering amount of responsibility for a private company that's optimizing for profit. Nvidia, of course, benefits from faster AI development because it drives insane demand for more powerful, more expensive chips, but is faster always better for humanity, especially if it outpaces our ability to understand and control these complex AI systems. The AI safety community has very little influence over Nvidia's roadmap because, frankly, they're not major customers. It's the military and commercial giants buying thousands of chips at a time that set the priorities. Safety researchers who might buy a few dozen chips, they don't even get a seat at the table. This creates a fundamental misalignment. The company controlling the speed of AI is incentivized to hit the accelerator, regardless of the safety risks ahead. What's more, Nvidia's monopoly makes the entire field of AI development less transparent. Researchers can study AI models and algorithms because they're often published. But they can't easily study the hardware because there's only one supplier with proprietary, black box technology. If multiple companies were competing, researchers could compare different hardware approaches, identify vulnerabilities, and propose improvements. But with one dominant player, the entire AI industry hangs on Nvidia's every engineering decision, with almost no external oversight. This is the great AI governance challenge of our time. How do you oversee a world-changing technology when one private company controls its most essential infrastructure? So, as these AI empire wars intensify over the next decade, who wins and who loses? The winners are clear. Nvidia could become the most valuable company in human history, not just worth $3 trillion but potentially $5 or even $10 trillion as AI becomes the new electricity. Jensen Huang becomes the richest person alive. The United States maintains its technological dominance by controlling the keys to AI infrastructure. American companies like Google, Microsoft, and Meta solidify their lead because they have preferential access to the best chips. The US military maintains its edge, and US allies, especially those involved in the chip supply chain like Taiwan, Japan, and South Korea, become even more strategically vital. But the losers face catastrophic consequences. China, despite its massive investments, could lose the AI race. Cut off from cutting-edge Nvidia chips, their AI development could fall behind by 5 to 10 years, crippling their tech companies and slowing their economy. Smaller countries without access to this advanced AI infrastructure risk becoming economically marginalized, completely dependent on AI services from a handful of dominant nations. Their economic sovereignty could simply disappear. We could see a new form of technological colonialism, where access to AI is as critical as access to the internet. Independent researchers and smaller companies get priced out. As chip costs skyrocket and availability becomes restricted, only massive corporations and governments will be able to afford to do cutting-edge AI research. Innovation will concentrate in fewer and fewer hands. And perhaps most concerning for all of us, individual privacy and autonomy will decline as AI systems become more powerful and centralized. When the infrastructure for AI is controlled by a tiny number of entities, the potential for mass surveillance and control expands dramatically. The AI empire wars don't just determine which companies get rich, they determine which nations remain sovereign, which economies stay competitive, and which societies maintain their freedom. And right now, one company, Nvidia, holds the keys to all of it. So, where does this all go? Let's look at 3 possible scenarios for the next decade. First, Scenario 1, Nvidia forever. Nvidia keeps its monopoly through constant innovation, a locked-in ecosystem, and manufacturing superiority. The United States leverages this dominance to maintain global tech power. The world splits into US-led and Chinese-led tech blocs, but Nvidia remains the gold standard for advanced AI. The result: most nations lose their technological sovereignty. AI development gets concentrated in just a few powerful hands. Innovation speeds up, but becomes less diverse and more centralized. Second, Scenario 2, the Great Fragmentation. Multiple nations successfully build their own competitive AI chips. China's domestic chips catch up to Nvidia. The EU creates its own sovereign AI infrastructure. Powers like India and Brazil develop their own technology stacks. The outcome: the global AI world shatters into incompatible blocks. Innovation slows down because of this fragmentation but also explores more diverse paths. Nations gain autonomy but sacrifice efficiency. Third, Scenario 3, the Open Revolution. A major breakthrough, maybe quantum computing or photonic chips, makes today's AI chips obsolete. This new technology is open source or managed by international bodies, not private companies. The effect: AI development becomes democratic. Small companies and researchers can once again access cutting-edge tools. Innovation explodes in every direction. However, the transition period causes massive economic disruption. Each of these futures has huge implications for civilization. And right now we're barreling towards Scenario 1, Nvidia forever. These AI empire wars aren't just about technology, they're about power. Who gets to build the future? Who decides how AI evolves? Who controls the tools that will reshape our entire society? Today, those decisions are being made in a boardroom in Santa Clara, California, not by elected governments, not by international organizations, by executives focused on quarterly earnings. This is how modern empires are built, not with armies but by controlling the very infrastructure of intelligence. Jensen Huang didn't aim to control human destiny, he just wanted to make faster graphics cards for video games. But technology has its own momentum, and it has made one company the gatekeeper to our most transformative tool. So, what do? Do we accept that a single for-profit company should control a technology that will define everything from our economy to our consciousness? Or do we decide that some things are too important to be left to the market alone? The AI empire wars have begun, and whoever controls the chips controls the future. Right now, that's Nvidia, but the future isn't set in stone. Understanding how we got here is the first step toward deciding where we go next. The age of AI is just beginning, but the age of AI empires is already here. Thanks for watching.